Pokemon Ultimate Adventures by Mikazuki. So, shouted Grand Dreamer, this is where you were hiding? In the Electric Company building? We're in the Electric Company? Misty blinked. Talk about convenient. Not now, TD. Can't talk. We're calling long distance here. Oh, sorry. Didn't mean to interrupt. Hey! Don't make fun of me! He exclaimed. And stop calling me TD already! Sorry, she didn't mean anything by that. She meant to call you GD, said Ash. Ah! Grand Dreamer growled. That's even worse! Grand Dream! Wah! Ash and Misty dove out of the way of the gigantic beam that Grand Dreamer shot. It went tearing through the wall and smashing through one building after another, anything that was in its way. Whoa! Ash and Misty's sweat dropped. That'll teach you to call me names! He pulled out his tarot cards and started shuffling the deck. Fate Shuffle! The cards started to glow as he finished shuffling. He pulled one out and looked at it. Heh! Here's a good one! On the card was a picture of the night sky with the stars and half moon. Under the picture were written the words, La Lune. La Lune? Ash read it, confused. No, Ash, it's French. It means the moon, said Misty. As she spoke, even though their eyes had adjusted to the dark, everything went completely black. Ah! They both screamed when a huge pillar of light smashed through the roof. Ash, Misty, and Pikachu jumped out of the way and missed it, but barely. That attack was so powerful! It had smashed right through the building and into the ground. What was that? The Moon Tarot. Just like a solar beam, it collected all the moonlight across the lands and focused it into a single, devastating blast. Grand Dreamer smiled as the card floated from his fingers and back to the tarot deck. I may not have any control over what I can draw, but it doesn't cost me any energy to use, and they are all this devastating. Thunderbolt! Ash shouted, and Pikachu attacked Grand Dreamer with lightning. Grand Dream! Grand Dreamer countered with a gigantic beam of energy. The psychic power broke the chain of lightning. Psychic Hold! He shouted. Suddenly, Ash felt his body lock. He couldn't move, held by an invisible force. Now! Grand Pika! Pikachu quickly attacked from the side, striking him with Thunder Wave. Grand Dreamer gasped, feeling the effects of the paralysis, losing all feel in his body, as well as his ability to levitate. He fell from the air, though the numbness disappeared right before he hit the ground. Ow! He shouted. Slowly, he got up. Grand Dreamer! He felt the effects of paralysis again, and wasn't able to move or attack. The paralysis had stopped him dead in his tracks. Yeah, well, thanks, GD. We'd like to stay and chat, but anyway, thanks for blasting us a nice pathway, said Ash, as he jumped onto the Quicksilver. Misty and Pikachu hopped on, and as they descended quickly into the hole, the three of them pulled down an eyelet and stuck out their tongues. Damn! Grand Dreamer cursed. Location: Marble City Underground Complex. Some parts of the Marble Desert were extremely rocky underground, and Marble City was built over such. There were enormous rocky caves and underground rivers, and there was a hydroelectric plant being used for those rivers. It was mostly a bunch of rooms stationed around the caves over the large rivers, and full of metal bridges with safety rails all over the place. There were some dim lights hanging from the ceiling, which lit up the place. Even with the power out, these lights were to remain on always. Ash and Misty were running on one of these metal bridges. So you got away from Grand Dreamer, huh? Quickly, get your Pokédex out, said Ebby, as Ash and Misty ran. Okay. Ash pulled it out. Now touch it to the transceiver. I'll do the rest, said Ebby. Ash held the Pokédex close, and cables appeared from the transceiver device, connecting to the Pokédex. Good. Now, touch your Pokédex to the ground. Right, said Ash. All right, Ebidex, scan! Ebby called out. From his end of the line, the Ebidex was scanning the entire area by hacking into the Pokédex and using it as a scanner. A map appeared on the Ebidex, revealing all the hallways, pathways, and rooms, including our hero's location. All right! I'll guide you now! After a few minutes of following his directions, they found the room with the main switch and flipped it. Outside, where the gigantic underground river was running, the electric turbines started to turn, and power began returning to the city. Ash and Misty ran out of the room and continued over the metal bridges, reaching some stairs connecting this floor to a higher one. Good! The power's back on! Now you can go back to the surface and enjoy a battle under fully lit conditions! Chaos Reaper's still powerful, but he's lost his advantage brought by the darkness! Ebby's voice spoke. The Ebidex scanners picked up something, and it's close. I can't see what it is, though. There's 3 of them! 3? Ash said aloud. The only 3 left in the city are Grand Dreamer, Chaos Reaper, and Skyrender, said Misty. You got that right! A voice spoke up. Ash and Misty stopped when they saw someone standing on top of a metal beam, dressed in a silver outfit and pure white hair. There he stood. Twin Dreamer? Heh! He laughed as he looked down at them. I have to hand it to you, twerps. There are few who could last this long against us, but maybe if you hand over Pikachu, I'll let you go. Huh? Ash and Misty blinked. When did Grand Dreamer revert back to his original form? And since when were the fiends interested in taking Pikachu? You won't give him up? I'm warning you, I can be really scary. As a matter of fact, Whoa! He exclaimed as he lost his balance. No, 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 no! He slipped. He fell from the beam and landed with a painfully loud thud. TD groaned as he looked up, hair turning out to be a wig, which fell over, revealing who it really was. James? Ash and Misty exclaimed. Oh! James groaned. James! You moron! You ruined the trap! Jessie called from one of the higher metal bridges. How are we supposed to capture Pikachu now? Meowth shouted. You idiots! Misty kicked James. What do you think you're doing here? Stealing Pikachu? Said Jessie. Yeah, I can see that. But more importantly, why didn't you guys get banished to that alternate dimension like everyone else? Ash crossed his arms. Oh, so that's what happened? Asked Meowth. We don't know anything. That ESP jerk came and attacked us. Well, except for James, who KO'd himself in that pathetic attempt at an escape, said Jessie. But that doesn't explain how come you're still here. I can answer that, said Ebby, in the tone he usually speaks whenever he pops out of nowhere to explain everything. This soul harvest may have the same effects as Mortal Reaper, but not as effective, because its range is simply being increased through the use of telekinesis. You know, having to do with the mind? They were unconscious, and because their minds didn't react, neither would their souls or bodies. They purposely missed Ash. As for Misty, I have no idea why she didn't get hit. Togepi could be heard chirping from his end. Hearing Togepi brightened Misty immediately. She felt relieved Togepi was all right, but she also figured out why she didn't get banished either. It was because of Togepi. Well, seeing how we're fighting a greater evil, one that'll surely attack you guys as well, no matter how much you deserve it, but they're really strong, and we could use all the help we can get. So, can we call a truce? Ash asked. It's a deal! James reached up and shook Ash's hand.